Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you all are enjoying your day, having a great weekend, and I am here to record for the race number 2 of the Summer Shootout Series, North Florida Kart Center. One of the reasons why I'm doing it this way is because it's going to be a short video, to be honest with you. It was crap. Nothing more to say, just it was crap. The reason it was crap was because people can't drive, and that's why. I'll show you the videos here in a minute. But basically, I've been struggling with my kart setup, playing out. I got a few things going on. Past couple of races, I just haven't been as fast as I should be, and to be honest with you, I just have not had the time to go out to the practice. To the track and practice on a weekend or whatever, and so that's really hurting me because we don't, unless you get there really early on race day, you really have no time to practice. I mean, they give you like 5 minutes of a practice run, and that's basically it. So yeah, I just haven't had the time to get out there, and it's really hurting me. I think I have multiple things going on with my setup, with my gearing, with my valves. I think possibly even a clutch. So trying to figure out all this stuff on a race day, that's impossible. So with that said, I got out there, qualified, did pretty crappy. This is the second, this track layout that we ran this weekend was the same exact track layout that we ran on race number 3 of the season, which was my second race of the season. So I at least had some data to go by as far as my previous track times and stuff like that. One of the things I didn't record was like my setup, stuff like what gearing I was using at that time and so on and so forth. So that kind of hurt me because I wasn't really sure what my baseline was to actually start with based on that race. So kind of had to figure it out and talking with the other guys, see what everybody else was running. Well, qualifying, I did crap. 2 seconds a lap slower than my last time out. And I qualified in the back of the pack, 18th out of, I think there was a field of 20, possibly 19. So I'm starting almost dead last. So these videos I'll show you is basically just to kind of make it as short as possible. I didn't finish either race of my. I qualified. That was pretty much the only success I had all night long. I wasn't able to finish. I'd take that back. I was able to finish my my pre-final, but you'll see here it was a crap finish anyways. So basically, once again, because people just they don't know how to drive. They're just too aggressive. Cutting people off, and this is all happening towards the rear of the. Obviously, the more experienced drivers are all in the front of the pack. They know how to race, so the problem's not up there. It's all the amateurs that are towards the back of the pack that are causing problems and don't know how to freaking drive. So they're on the first lap, first corners, they're getting way too freaking aggressive. They're cutting each other off, running into each other in corners, and crashing people out, spinning out, and causing just a big pile up. And so when you're starting in the back of the field, you end up getting tangled up in all that crap. So yeah, I'm not happy whatsoever with the way the weekend turned out, but I'll go ahead and I'll stop recording my ugly mug, and we'll get into the videos, and I'll kind of explain what happened. All right, so we've already gotten the green light. We're going down the back straightaway here, coming up on our basically it's the last turn, last corner, and as you can see, coming in here, they all get tangled up. I'm forced to hit the ditch. It happens so fast. When I'm reviewing the video, I'm thinking that possibly I could have maybe dove to the inside of the corner and missed him. But when you don't have that much time to think about it, you've got a split-second reaction time, and it's you either go left or you go right. and so the way it was said, I just hit the ditch. I went right, and of course from there on my race was over. So for the rest of this race, I was pretty much running by myself, because there's no way. You can see how far ahead of me the the next guy is up, so there's no way I was going to catch anybody. So I basically took this opportunity to try and put down the fastest laps I possibly could to see how the kart was handling after the adjustments that I had made, after qualifying. But at this point, the engine was still not feeling like I had enough power. I still wasn't putting down good times. I did break into the 39 seconds, but that's about it. So I went back to the drawing board before my pre-final to make some further adjustments. All right, so yeah, so pretty much that pre-final was pretty much crap. Started out 18th, actually lost one position. Can you believe it? So I started my final race in the 19th position. Yippee! But here's a couple of things that I was able to determine. While yes, I was about 5 to 8 tenths of a second faster than my qualifying lap, I still was not running very well. I felt like I didn't have the power coming out of the corners. I felt like I wasn't gaining enough speed, top end speed, down the straightaway, and so comparing it with my data on the last one, I decided to do a pretty aggressive, not a pretty aggressive, but I decided to change my gearing again. I started out the day with an 1858, which is what everybody was running. Qualifying, I felt that was too slow. I didn't have the power, so I bumped it up to 1859, which put me at a gear ratio of, I believe it was 278. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look at my thing. But then, so I decided to, if I went from an 1859 to an 1860, I felt like that was going to be too much of a jump. It's going to slow me down too much. Yes, well, it may give me a little bit more power. It was going to slow me down too much because that would have jumped me up over 300 on my ratio. So I decided to go down to a 17 front and then a 56 rear, which that put me up at a 294. So 278 to a 294 was not that big of a jump, but I felt like that might help me out. Another thing that I noticed ever since I made a valve adjustment, based on a YouTube video of a Briggs & Stratton guy that I was watching, he recommended going 3 and 6 on the valves, and that's what I did. I went 3 and 6, 6 on the intake valve, I think it is, 3 exhaust, 6 intake. I've noticed ever since I did that, I've lost power. Just the engine didn't seem like it was feeling. The engine did not feel like it was running as strong as it was when I first got the kart, which I laid down my fastest lap times shortly after. I mean, my very first race out there, I was blowing everybody away by how fast I was because it was my very first race. I was even surprised at how fast and how well I was doing. But I've just progressively gotten slower and slower since that day. So what I decided to do, before the pre-final race was to go ahead and adjust my valves back to where they were whenever So I just when I got the kart, the valves were at 3 and 3, which is I think what the stock recommendation from Briggs & Stratton is on those. So 3 intake, 3 intake, 3 exhaust, and that's where I set them. So I figured I'm going to go back to that. So those were the only 2 adjustments that I made for the pre-final, the valve adjustment as well as the gearing. And so I'm going to roll the next video here of the pre-final, and and I will say this much: I feel like those 2 changes helped me. But let's get into the video, and we'll see exactly how it turned out. So here we are on this is the final race of the day, and on our on our warm-up lap, I can already feel like I may have a little bit more speed and pull coming out of the corners. I feel like I was gaining speed down that straight earlier, whereas Whereas with the previous gearing setup, I just felt like it was sluggish and it was taking a while to build up the speed. So I definitely feel like my my changes, both in the valve adjustment as well as the gearing, I definitely felt like it gave me more punch and more low end pull, because you know, I could feel it on that last straightaway. So here we are on our last warm up lap. Getting lined up, getting ready to come into the last corner for the green flag. So here we're coming up to the last corner just before we get the green flag. I am in 19th position. I don't believe there is anybody else behind me. We come around the corner, we get the green flag, I step on it, and immediately you can see how I'm just pulling out in front of these three guys. I pick up 3 positions right off the get-go, right immediately, and then of course this happens. Bam! I hit the guy coming in that corner over 30 miles per hour, and pretty much I'm done. So as we slow down the video here, it looks like possibly you can see the green cart and the purple cart got into it, which pretty much caused everybody else to flat out. So who knows what happened? I don't know. At my angle, I can't tell if the purple cart just came down onto the green cart, cut them off. Who knows? But either way, guys, you know, first corner, learn how to drive. Jeez Louise. So yeah, so that pretty much knocked me out. As just going over, looking at my cart, you can see my tie rod. Left tie rod got completely bent. That knocked me out of the race. I was done after that. Front bumper got pushed in, but that's not that big of a deal. Got hit on the side. Well, when I slid into him, it knocked in my my left bumper. I should be able to pop that out. Hopefully, that's no big deal. But I did do kind of a walk around, look at everything, make sure nothing else was bent. Like I said, well, yeah, the other guys that I had passed up behind me, I didn't feel like anybody really hit me that bad from behind. But I was still wanting to double check and make sure everything else was pretty much straight and good to go. So at this point in time, it looks like only I got a bent tie rod now. As I began looking at this straight on from the rear, I happened to notice a couple of things. First off, I noticed that my chain guard here was bent up. I'm not quite sure exactly how that happened, but I'm also looking at my seat, and it looks like my seat may have gotten a little bit cockamamie as well. So that looks a little twisted or a little bent. Doesn't look quite straight to me, so I may have bent the seat post a little bit, which wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, I'll have to take a look at that and make sure I can get that straightened out again. But otherwise, other than that, I think I should be good to go with just replacement of a tie rod. So there you have it, guys. That was that's basically in a nutshell. I want to apologize because I told you first off it was going to be a short video. Well, not really a short video, but either way, it was not a whole lot of racing going on, more talking than racing. So with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video anyways. You know, got to see some mayhem, got to see some frustration. I just wish these guys would just dial it down a little bit, or either dial down the aggression and dial up the competition and the skill, or if you're not up here as far as the competition and the skill goes, then dial down that aggression, because there's no reason. There was a couple of races back, the same exact thing happened. You know, and the same exact turn there too. Very first, right off the gate, right off the green flag, coming around there, you know, that very first curve, the same thing happened. You know, somebody comes in low and cuts somebody off and gets spun around, and then of course everybody else behind them gets all tied up. And that same one, they had to red flag the race and do a restart. for the same exact reason. So it's like, come on, guys, learn how to drive. It's, the first corner. You're not going to win the race in the first corner. I get that, you want to try and get as many spots up, and I get that. But you can do so without having to wreck everybody out behind you. And what good is it going to do you if you get wrecked out yourself. So it's not worth it. Just race cleanly, learn how to drive, and so that way everybody who starts the race can at least have a fighting chance to finish the race at least. But anyways, that's my the bitch fest for this round, and next race is, I believe, we got a few weeks. It's not until July, and I believe it's towards the end of the July as well. So I'm definitely going to get my butt out there to the racetrack one of these weekends on a Saturday or Sunday and just spend a few hours out there tweaking and racing, getting prepped for the next race, because I got to get I'm in competition for Rookie of the Year, and I got to finish a race before that can happen. Fortunately, I've got two. I missed the first race, so that one's a drop. They're only scoring us on the top 10 races, the top 10 finishes out of the 13 race season. I didn't race the very first race because I wasn't in it yet, and then my second race, my third race. Coincidentally, the third race, which is this same exact layout, I didn't finish that race either because my chain kept popping off, so I wasn't able to finish the race. So that layout just has not been good luck for me. So I've not finished. There's been two races that I haven't finished. So with the race that I didn't, that's my 3 drops right there. From here on out, I have to be on my game if I'm going to even compete for that Rookie of the Year award, because those are my 3. Those are my 3 drops. Anything else from here on out, it's going to get scored. Or if I DNF another race, that's it. I'm going to have a DNF on my end, so that's not going to help me out in the points. So I got to get my act together. I got to get out there and buy some time to get out there on a weekend to get some practice days in before my next race, because I have to show up on race day ready to race. If I'm not ready to race, then I'm not going to compete with these other guys. And Jeremy Yost, which right now he's the leader in the points as far as the rookie goes. The dude gets better and better every race. Every race he's getting better and better, finishing higher. And so if I even want to compete with him and the other rookies that are on the season this year, I got to up my game. I know I have the skills as far as my driving goes. I got to figure out what's going on with my setup, whether it's engine, gearing, my kart. Who knows? I gotta figure this stuff out, or else I'm not gonna be able to compete for that Rookie of the Year award. I'm still having fun, but I'm out here to win too. I'm competitive, and I like to race, and I like to compete. So I got to get my act together. And so with that said, enough of me rambling. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Take it easy. Bye.